Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brina if you're new here, and I'm pretty excited for today's video because I have this exotic flavors palette from UCANBE, and it also came with these brushes. I actually received this stuff as a gift from my in-laws for my birthday, so shout out to my mother-in-law because I know you're watching. Thank you! And as you can tell, I have not even opened this palette yet, so I'm going to quickly open this stuff and then we can get a closer look. Alright, here are all of the brushes, and I have to say the quality, I'm honestly kind of shocked at how good they feel, but I do notice quite a few defects in them. I'm really not sure if the camera will pick this up, but this one in particular is the worst. It's got like devil horns coming up from the sides of the brush. I think if I just took some scissors to the tops of the brushes and cut all these weird hairs that are coming out of it out, I think they'll be fine. Other than that, they feel really nice. They feel really soft. And I'm kind of shocked at the variety here. I really was not expecting there to be this many brushes. There's even a face brush. It also came with a couple of these, I can't think of what they're called. They're like the sponge brushes, whatever, you know. I'm sure you can tell. Let's look at the palette now. Okay, I was not expecting this. Oh, she is gorgeous. Ooh, I cannot wait to get my hands on this. Wow, this palette looks amazing. I think these little sponge brushes are going to be fantastic for specifically these really glittery looking shimmers. Oh, I am very excited to play with this palette now. I do want to say before I start playing with it at all, I have never played with any UCANBE eyeshadow palettes. I do have their Athena palette. It is the painting palette. I use this one for my SFX looks. I don't love the black and the white in these just because I don't love how they set, but the rest of them I love, and it's super cheap. So if the paint palette tells me anything, I have very high expectations for this eyeshadow palette. I'm going to take off this look and then we can start playing. Oh, I am so excited. All right, I got most of the product off, and now I'm going to go in with some Tarte Shape Tape Concealer on this like concealer looking brush to not only test out the brush, but also to prime my eyes. All right, first impressions of this brush. It's getting the job done. It's not scratchy, it's not itchy, it feels nice. That's a plus. Like I said, I did get this as a gift, so I'm not exactly sure how much this whole set costs, but I will, as always, link the products that I use in the description box. So if you would like to get this palette yourself, make sure to check out that description box. I'm not gonna lie, this concealer has got my under eyes looking like a hot mess because I don't normally use matte concealers on my under eyes. So we're just gonna pretend like that's not happening. We're just gonna pretend like everything's fine. And if you haven't noticed, I am in a very purple mood today, so I kind of think I want to play with these purples, maybe a little bit of the pinks. I don't really know. We might just kind of see where the look takes us. I have no idea what kind of a look I want to do. I just want to play with this palette. But then at the same time, also, all of these neons are really calling my name. I don't know. I could do like a whole neon rainbow. I don't know what I want to do. So many options. We're just gonna go with a purple look. I can always do 100 different looks with this palette in the future. It's fine. I'm gonna first start by taking this shade in the corner over here. I definitely want to make sure you tap off your brush with this palette. I can already feel it. There's gonna be fallout, but it's okay. And I'm just gonna apply this directly into that crease. Look at that pigment. Ooh. As long as they blend out nicely, I don't think I'm going to have any issues with this palette. As I'm sure you noticed, I'm not using a brush from this palette because as I'm looking at the brushes, there's really not any crease brushes or blending brushes. There's a couple of liner brushes, quite a few liner brushes actually, and then quite a few like lid brushes, but that's really it. There's not any real crease brushes or blending brushes. So far, that's the only not good thing I would have to say about this palette, but even that, like, I don't necessarily think that's the worst thing ever, you know, because I do myself have a lot of blending brushes and stuff, so it's kind of okay. But I'm lacking in the flat brush department, so not mad about it. I really just cannot get over this pigment though. Wow, so far I've only dipped my brush back into that shadow once, so for it to have that much payoff, whew. So what I think I want to do is we're going to work on just one eye for now. I haven't decided fully if I want to do a couple looks yet. And I'm going to tap into this hot pink shade over here, and I'm going to use that to blend that purple out. This one's not quite as pigmented as that purple. I'm really not getting a whole lot from it, but I feel like that's just because it's a neon shade. As long as I can get the two to blend together, I don't think we're going to have any issues, but if they don't blend together, it's a little bit of a struggle right now. Let me see if I try a different brush, if that'll work better. I'm going to go with a little bit fluffier brush. See if maybe it was the brush that was the problem. They're still just really not blending together. I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to go back in with that crease brush. No additional product. There we go. We're getting a little bit more of a blend happening now. It still is being a pain. It does not. There it goes. No, these two shades just do not. There they go. They did not want to blend together. So I say that to blend, you're going to need a more dense brush, something to really move that product around, because the fluffy ones were not getting it done. Okay, blending was definitely a little bit more work than usual, but I'd still say it's worth it because I'm getting it and it still looks really good. And it's not like they don't blend at all, you know? I've definitely had really expensive high-end palettes that still don't even blend this good, you know? Ooh, I'm loving this look so far. I want to bring a little bit more dimension into it. And looking at the palette, I would say that there's really not any dark shades besides this purple and this brown, and I definitely do not want to put a brown over this, so I'm going to go with this dark purple, and I'm going to use this flat kind of angled brush to work that into that outer corner. Ooh, that is pretty. Oh, I got a little bit of fallout. I think it was from that first shade I used though, and I'm just kind of working that onto the outer half of the lid in an angle type fashion and just using the same brush to blend everything together. I feel like this shade doesn't look the same on my eye as it does in the palette, and it's this one we're working with. Maybe it does. It just looks a little bit more of like a grayish purple once it's on my eye, but it's hard to tell. Honestly, I really am just shocked at this pigmentation. Whew, this is a good palette. And I'm going to go into the purple glitter on this, whatever this brush is called that came with the palette, and just pop that into that, ooh, inner corner that I have left. Ooh, yes. Honestly, for these glitters alone, this palette is worth it. I don't know, like I said, I don't know how much it costs, but I don't even care. It's worth it. Whoa, those are so nice. I don't know, it could be the brush, but look at how well that went on. Normally, I really struggle with glitters, so if it really is these brushes that make the glitter go on so smoothly and just look so good, these are going to be a game changer for me because I really struggle with glitter. As long as this does not come up, which it doesn't really look like it's going to. Normally when I wear glitters, I get a lot of creasing and my natural eye oils eat away at that glitter. So I'm really excited to see what happens here, because if it just looks like this and it stays and it was that easy, UCANBE can take all of my money and give me all of their glitters, because woo, for the lower lash line, I'm going to start by taking this shade of pink and I'm going to keep it towards the inner part of the eye, bring it about halfway, and then I'm going to go into this kind of brick red shade at the very bottom. I don't know how this is going to look. I'm just kind of putting shades on my, on my eyes at this point. Ooh, it's not bad. All right. I'm going to go back in with that first brush to blend that all out. So I really only had an issue with that neon pink blending into the purple, and I really just think it was because it was a neon shade. I don't think I would have an issue with any of the rest of the palette because so far everything else blends together very nicely, and honestly, I'm very impressed with the quality of this palette so far. And this glitter is not creasing at all. Normally, I would definitely have a little bit of creasing happening. Whew, who's gonna break it to the rest of my palettes that this one is now taking the place as favorite? Because it's not gonna be me, that's for sure. They already don't get used enough. I'm gonna dip into this purpley shimmer shade at the very bottom using this angled brush that came with it. I just really want to try out this angled brush, to be honest with you. All right, if it wasn't for me messing up, I think this would be very nice. Ooh, I'm kind of struggling to get like a sharp edge there. But let's see what happens if I just kind of blend it with this other side of the brush. It's not bad. Once I put that shade on my eye though, I feel like the shimmer that it had is basically gone, and that's a lot of fallout. I'm also going to extend it on the lower lash line just a little bit. Ooh, I love this brush. Honestly, these brushes might be my new liner brushes. I think I'm getting them figured out. I do have a little bit of fallout. Not really sure how I got this on my nose, but let's see how it cleans up. it didn't really clean up too well, but it's fine. I usually do my eyeshadow before the rest of my makeup, so I don't think I'm going to have too much of an issue with the fallout. I think fallout is just like a natural thing that's going to happen with eyeshadow palettes. I don't really feel like that's anything against this palette. The fact that this glitter has not creased at all, I just can't get over it. It's so good. All right, I also think I want to add a little bit of that purple shade that I did the wing with to this inner corner. Ooh, yes, that's it. That's what we want. Let me do the other eye, pop on some lashes, and then I will give you my final thoughts on this palette. Okay, so I lied. I just went to go apply that hot pink shade to right above that crease shade that I was using, and I figured out if I just really pack the shadow onto the brush and then apply it, they blend together perfectly. So I don't know why I was having that issue on the other eye, because it's just fine on this eye. I mean, look at that. This is really just blending right together. Ooh, that just makes this palette 1,000,000 times better. I'm definitely gonna have to look into more of UCANBE's stuff because I just really cannot get over the quality of this palette. Okay, that's it for now. All right, lashes are on, and I am very pleased to say that the glitter has not creased at all. It still looks just as amazing as when I first applied it. Honestly, when I first opened this palette and I saw all these glitters, yes, I was initially excited, but I really thought, here's another palette that I'm not going to be able to use any glitters with. But I really thought I was going to at least have to put a glitter primer on to make the glitter stick, but I just really can't get over how good this palette is. So if you're wondering what my final thoughts and review on this palette is, it is amazing. If you haven't already, I would suggest buying it. I'm definitely going to be looking into more UCANBE palettes because the quality, it is definitely there. I just really can't get over how good it is. I really don't know what that first issue I had with it, with them not wanting to blend together was. I really think maybe I let that first shadow sit a little bit too long, and maybe that's why they didn't blend together very well. But once they did, they blended very, very nicely. I do have to say that I really wasn't expecting the inside of the palette to look like this. After looking at the outside, I was really expecting more neutral tones, but I just really think this palette is great. So basically, my final review of this palette is it's amazing. I love it. I will definitely have to play around with it some more. I used only 6 of however many shadows there are in this palette, but I really don't think there's going to be any issues with any of the other shadows. I think they're all going to perform just as well as those 6 that I used did, and I can't wait to do more looks with it. So if you have suggestions for looks you'd like to see with this palette, let me know in the comments. I would be more than happy to do some more tutorials with this palette, and also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or found it useful. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!